Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a treasure hid in the field, the which when a man hath found, he hideth, and for joy thereof goeth and selleth all that he hath, and buyeth that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a merchant man seeking goodly pearls, who, when he had found one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had and bought it. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net that was cast into the sea, and gathered of every kind, which when it was full, they drew to shore, and sat down, and gathered the good into vessels, but cast the bad away.
Consider the lilies, how they grow. They toil not, they spin not. And yet I say unto you that Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. If then God so clothed the grass, which is today in the field and tomorrow is cast into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O ye of little faith? And seek not ye what ye shall eat or what ye shall drink, neither be ye of doubtful mind. For all these things do the nations of the world seek after, and your Father knoweth that ye have need of these things. But rather seek ye the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell that ye have, and give alms. Provide yourselves bags which wax not old, a treasure in the heavens that faileth not, where no thief approacheth, neither moth corrupteth. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
We're not fighting for riches of this world. We're not fighting for a position in this world. We're not fighting for a plot of land in this world to where we can claim our stake, and have an inheritance with the rest of the world. No, when we get our inheritance, we're going to get everything.
But rather, seek ye the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom.
So what we're doing is we're heralding, announcing the coming of the next world, the coming of righteousness, the establishment of a righteous kingdom and the proper people that belong in it.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners, whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, what I want to get into today, all right, another World War III update. And it's unexpected, because I had something else planned, but this is what the Spirit wanted, it was sparked by the lesson done by the other brother, Manata Zakba, out of South Carolina, as I was watching his update, and he was going into a video on Redacted, so I checked out the full video today. And then there was a Spirit also, yesterday, I had a full-time military guy, that I was talking to yesterday. And he was telling me some things, all right, which we'll go into. And then I had another full-time military guy, all right, I was talking to today, and he was speaking on some things, as I was asking him certain questions, so it was a Spirit, two military guys back to back. All right, you have things unfolding, over there with the EU and Russia. So what I want to do is, before we get into what's happening now, I want to go into how we got here. All right, so let's lay the foundation with this precept, all right, which is a commandment, all right, of Yahweh Shai. Everybody, put the fringes on everything and speak about the commandments. Well, this is a commandment, okay? This is an order, okay, from my King, Yahweh Shai. All right, Matthew 26:41, it says, watch and pray, okay, that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Okay, so we're commanded, all right, to watch, man, to look into these things, man. And one thing about it is we watch, all right, things unfold. As we watch prophecy unfold, it's a faith booster. See, prophecy happening feeds our spirit. It keeps our spirit strong. And that's why Yahweh Shai told us to watch, and pray. As you see these things happening, all right, just continue to pray for the Lord to take this place down, okay, to establish righteousness in the earth, man. All right, to put an end to the pride in the earth, man. To establish the fear of the Heavenly Father through His Son, Yahweh Shai. Okay, so as we watch these things and we see prophecy happen in real time, it feeds our spirit. Okay, and a lot of men, all right, they get disenchanted because they're really not in the spirit of prophecy, man. Because as we see these things happening, man, it keeps us engaged, because hey, this is a full-time thing. Okay, this is our life. All right. Matter of fact, my brother can get that Sirach 39:1 as well. I'm gonna go ahead and cue up this video while our brother get that. All right. So yeah, while our brother get there, let me cue this up. Okay. Because as we see things unfold, because there's two major, all right, fronts. There's two main fronts, okay, of this escalation into this third world war. And like we always say, the let me see, yeah. So the the conflict, all right, that's going to start the chain reaction, all right, that's going to lead, to a full scale war, all right, is going to be between these small hats and these Israelis, okay, and all these things are connected, okay. So the conflict, all right, that's going to cause the chain reaction to go into all out war with with all these nations getting involved, okay, which is going to be, the beginning. All right, the official World War III is going to be the conflict between the small hats and Iran. Okay, which when you go into what's happening with that, all right, Iran has pretty much showcased, that they're capable, all right, of really damaging, okay, those small hats if they went heads up. Okay, so pretty much those small hats done set their ass down from, poking at Iran, and they gone back to their, their G side, okay, their G side of Gaza. All right, right now it's concentrated in Rafah. Okay, so it's gonna come a point to where things are going to happen between those two, those small hats and those Iranians, and it's gonna spill over, all right, into what we know as this third world war. All right. And what we're seeing Russia doing is Ezekiel 38 happen in real time. Okay. We're seeing, all right, the Lord put hooks in the jaws of Magog and bringing them forth. Okay. And these EU nations are scrambling. Okay. Because they're not prepared. All right. And we're going to get into those things. But yeah, let's get this real quick. The brother got for me. Yeah. The wide to you, brothers. Adding to the live screen. All right. And you sisters listening in obedience. Okay, this the brother beyond Yashala, Sirach 39:1. It says, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecies, man. Okay, while everyone is into distractions, everyone is into the gimmicks. Okay, niggas claiming Hoover Crip. Okay, we're going to be occupied, all right, in these prophecies, man, because we seek a kingdom to come after this, man. We seek the rulership of Yahweh Shai to be established in the earth, okay, and the path, all right, to Yahweh Shai ruling in righteousness in the earth is through prophecies, man. And this is what we're occupied in. Okay, so I want to get this video. Go to how we got to this point. So what we have to understand, NATO was formed, all right, after World War II, pretty much as a military, all right, alliance. Okay, there will be a buffer against a Russian invasion, okay, of Europe. Okay, so NATO was formed, and then Russia, they had an alliance with a few nations called the Warsaw Pact. All right, and this was the end. This was mid 1940s, late 1940s. Okay, so this video is going to pick up from there. All right, and it's going to go into an assurance given to Russia by the West, but the West, all right, they didn't maintain their promise, man. Okay, and it just got to the point to where Russia, all right, had to intervene. Okay, because they know, all right, that the West can't be trusted. Okay, so yeah, let's get into it.
What's up, guys? This is the new Bear TH.
Political.
His army invaded Ukraine. Just before his army invaded Ukraine, Vladimir Putin outlined his motivations in a speech. His first and main argument,
Имея в виду расширение блока НАТО на восток.
NATO's expansion. He blamed the extensions of the military alliance ever closer to Russia's borders and accused Western leaders of breaking alleged promises to never do so.
В этом ряду и обещание нашей стороне не расширять ни на 1 дюйм НАТО на восток.
Experts disagree on whether that's true.
The U.S. broke these assurances and these commitments that had been made.
I think that's false. It's really sort of a pretext.
So was anything really promised? And why is that such a crucial point for Russia? After World War II, two spheres of influence emerged in Europe, each one with their military alliance. NATO in the West, countries that would soon be part of the Warsaw Pact in the East. This created a clear red line between the two superpowers. Their spheres of influence were clearly defined, and for many years NATO grew slowly. Until 1990, when that divide started to crumble here in Germany.
In Germany was the key focal point of the Cold War in Europe.
Joshua Schifferson has done extensive archival research on the US and Soviet foreign policy,
including this great question of what or was not promised in 1990.
At the time, Germany was speeding towards reunification. And for many in Europe, this was a bit scary.
The US did not want to see a reunified Germany either in the Soviet camp or neutral, right? And the concern with neutrality was that a neutral Germany might one day run amok.
Washington decided the best option was to bring Germany into NATO. But first, they had to convince the Soviets. And here we get to those famous assurances about NATO's expansion.
In February of 1990, in a series of meetings, US and West German leaders very openly said that if the Soviet leadership consented to German reunification and reunified Germany remaining in NATO, then NATO would not expand 1 inch to the east.
Logs of those conversations have since been declassified, and they show what Soviet politicians were told by Western leaders like German Chancellor Helmut Kohl, NATO Secretary General Manfred Wörner, and the famous words by US Secretary of State James Baker, not 1 inch to the east.
All right, so to sum it up, what you had after World War II, Germany, was split. You had Eastern Germany and Western Germany. Okay, but then you had Germany, they unified, but they was neither NATO or with the USR. Now, you have to understand the history with Germany. World War One, Germany was pretty much, single-handedly, all right, kicking Europe ass, man. And they was doing the same thing in World War Two. All right, so Germany was a problem. So America was like, look, we can't just let Germany be neutral. We need to absorb them into NATO. And one thing about it, once they was absorbed into NATO, okay, they got into the EU, all right, the economic bloc, the ECC, or the European uh Economic Council, if I'm saying it right, European. I'm gonna look it up. All right, but eventually because one thing with this beast system, all right, if you're part of NATO, UN, or the EU, all right, you pretty much answer to America with your economy. So America was able, all right, uh, to control, all right, Germany's. Now, what America was able to control Germany's economics. Now, when you control someone economics, you can pretty much control their growth. All right, you can suppress them, or you can allow them to flourish, and you can suppress them when you want. And if you control economy, you control military. Okay. Now, the thing is, when you join NATO and the EU, okay, you become a part of different trade blocks, and you get perks. Okay, and your economy is pretty much stimulated. All right, but what they did, they pretty much, these EU nations, gave, America uh, a partial authority over their economy, because these big banks, that these major transactions, all right, on the world trade, they have to go through American banks. Okay, America holds a lot of world, all right, transactions within their banks. Okay, and that's why they're able to put sanctions on all these nations, because they control a lot of the global transactions. Okay, and within that, what America has done is built up their military. Okay, and these EU nations, they haven't had the luxury, okay, of having a world reserve currency, okay, and to pretty much be able to print their world reserve currency through central banks to just ball out of control when it comes to their budget. All right, America's military budget, all right, yearly, is probably almost the budget of the whole world. Okay, and see if we can find some. But I think it's the European Economic. Let me look that up real quick. European Economic. So okay. So you go here. All right. So let's share this real quick. Let me click on it. All right. So when you go here, and we go back to the video. So let's go to, and the reason the EU, okay, is so tied in, obligated to America, because their economies, are pretty much, like I say, are regulated by American banks. Okay, this is economy of Europe. It says Europe was the first of the major world regions to develop a modern economy based on commercial agriculture, industrial development, and the provision of specialized services. Okay, it says its successful modernization can be traced to the continent's rich endowment of economic resources, its history of innovations, the evolution of the skilled and educated labor force, and the interconnectedness of all its parts, both naturally existing, okay, man-made. All right. Let's go down. Yeah. It says in the interconnectedness of all its parts, both naturally existing and man-made, which facilitate the easy movement of massive quantities of raw materials and finished good, and the communication of ideas. So when you will join, all right, the EU, okay, NATO, all right, you will have economic and military, okay, perks that will come with it, but you will give up, okay, a portion, all right, control over your economy, okay, and that's why America is known as the whore that rides the beast, okay, and these 10 horn nations, all right, Germany being one of them, when it was absorbed unto NATO, all right, then you had to sit down, between America, all right, and then the USSR, and they made an assurance that they wouldn't, all right, that they wouldn't expand, NATO wouldn't expand no more towards the east, okay? So they had an assurance, it was an agreement, okay? But we're going to see, all right, what the West did, after they made that agreement, okay? And that's why the scriptures speak about. Well, I'll get it and let this play. Then I get it after this video play. Okay.
Блока НАТО на восток.
NATO's
You're the person with the gun, the person who would do anything to protect the ones you love. But did you know that you could go to jail?
In 1999, the Czech Republic, Hungary, and Poland joined NATO. In 2004, it was the Baltic states and 4 other countries. And finally, 4 more from 2009 to just a few years ago. Georgia and Ukraine were promised membership in 2008, but are not yet members. This seems to justify Putin's grievances. But
So as you can see on the map, all right, NATO just kept expanding. Okay, they just kept adding nations. They just kept expanding. Okay, you had the American, all right, diplomat. He made the statement, not 1 inch east. Okay, but we see, hey, they broke those assurances, man. So you see how Russia is pretty much being boxed in. And Western media painted as if Russia is just tripping. Okay, but we see the NATO constantly expanding and they're moving towards Russia, man, to the point where they promise, all right, Ukraine that they, could be a member. So Russia was like, nah, that's a red line. All right, like y'all already done broke the assurances. Okay, but y'all niggas just eat. So, so Russia like, so we just ain't talking about shit. So I guess, people like, I'm Joe Sausage Head, So he was like, look, Ukraine is going to be the red line. All right. And what NATO did, they started moving weaponry. They started, training troops, in Russia. Okay. Those the Ukrainian military was trained and armed by NATO. Okay. So as Russia seeing this happening, Putin like, all right, man, and that's when they invaded Ukraine. Okay. But this is, like I say, the build up to that. This is how we got here, man.
One historical event could suggest a different interpretation.
Back in 1991 in the collapse of the Soviet Union.
This is
Now listen to this nigga. All right, America, all right, is full of BS, man. Listen to this nigga, okay?
Stephen Pfeiffer. He was the US ambassador to Ukraine when NATO was expanding. and deputy director on the Soviet desk when those assurances were made.
When Secretary Baker at that time was talking about NATO not extending forward, I understood that as not into East Germany.
Pfeiffer says that those commitments didn't refer to countries like Poland or Lithuania because
At that time also, I mean, the Warsaw Pact still existed. The Warsaw didn't collapse for another year. So I saw the discussions about not one inch really in the context of Germany.
but many experts disagree.
That doesn't quite hold water for two different reasons. One is that the Soviet leadership and the Americans both understood that the question of what comes next in Europe was all about the future of Eastern Europe, not just East Germany. There's a concern that the Warsaw Pact is falling apart. And also, if I say to you, I'm not going east, it's a pretty generic statement, right? It kind of beggars the imagination to think that they only meant, oh, east, only there, but no further from there.
Pfeiffer, however, raises another point.
When you look at the actual agreements, there were no final commitments by NATO not to enlarge.
In other words, no treaties, only conversations.
Nothing was written down, as we've established, but at the same time, political understandings and commitments of this sort, diplomatic commitments, carry a lot of water in world politics. This is how we ended the Cuban Missile Crisis, for example. And if it didn't matter, why would we have diplomats talk to each other?
Regardless of how serious these assurances were, this debate arguably misses a more important point.
States don't uphold treaties just because they're written down. If those leaders in those states decide to change course, then a treaty is not going to stand in the way. So all the emphasis on writing things down, it puts the cart before the horse.
NATO's expansion can be better explained by focusing not on those conversations, but on the countries involved. On one side, the US, whose influence grew after the fall of the Soviet Union.
NATO expansion was fundamentally a byproduct of the unipolar era, right? At this moment in time where the US had great power, very few constraints, and at least some policymakers who had an idea that American power and influence applied to the world would generate lots of goods for the United States as well as good things for the world.
On another, the countries that joined NATO.
It wasn't that NATO said, let's enlarge. It was you had countries such as Poland emerging from the wreckage of the Warsaw Pact saying, we want to be a member of NATO, we want to be a member of the European Union, and we are prepared to do all of the things that requires.
And finally, Russia, whose motivations are not limited to NATO.
I think there are really three reasons behind what Russia is doing. One is the geopolitical concern. The Russians want a sphere of influence.
So that's the point with that lesson. I mean, with that video, because that's a guy from America, and he just finna lie the rest of the video. But so that's how we got to this point. All right, NATO expansion, led to Russia aggression. Just to sum it up. All right, and what I was speaking on earlier, just to make sure I'm on point. All right, so what you had was called the Treaty of Rome, which happened in 1957. All right, it says the treaties of Rome. All right, as you know that this is Rome revived. America. All right, EU. All right, NATO being, the military arm, of this alliance. It says the treaties of Rome were signed in Rome on the 25th of March, 1957. They are considered as the foundation acts of the European community. The first treaty established the European Economic Community, while the second one established the European Atomic Energy Community known as Euratom. Now, when you go down, it said the Treaty of Rome. All right, what did the Treaty of Rome do? The Treaty of Rome set up the European Economic Community, bringing together Belgium, Germany, France, Italy, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands to work together towards integration and economic growth through trade. It established a common market based on the free movement of goods, peoples, services, and capital. So these nations, have a common market in which they all benefit. And NATO was pretty much a military conglomerate, which all these nations, pitch in, to finance NATO, all right, to be a buffer, and a guard against a Russian, if there's ever any Russian hostilities. Okay, and ultimately they got to the point to where they wanted to make a move on Russia. That's why they kept itching closer to Russia. Ultimately, they wanted to make a move on Russia and bring Russia down. All right, but a prophecy says otherwise. All right, Russia has a major part in the overthrow. All right, of the West, man. All right, and then Russia's gonna get overthrown in the in the midst of that as well. Okay, but just explaining how we get to this point, making sense of what we're seeing, this back and forth between Russia, Ukraine, Russia, and the EU. Okay, so let's get a couple of scriptures. All right, let's go here. Okay, this is let's get Revelation. Revelation 17 expounds on these things. Okay. He said the doom of Babylon. Okay. I started at 1. Okay. This is Revelation 17:1. And there came one of the 7 angels which had 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth, upon many waters. All right. And it's going to break it down later on in the chapter. All right. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunken with the wine of her fornication, man. Okay. And this is speaking of America. All right. And the kings of the earth, these heathen nations, all right, and these other Edomite, all right, governments in the earth, all right, have all followed America in this great rebellion. Okay. And one of the things that locked these nations in with America, all right, because to participate, all right, in this economic market, guess what? You have to take on principles of the beast. Okay, that's why you see America constantly trying to push the alphabet, constantly trying to push women's liberation in these different nations. And if a nation decline, okay, then they're not allowed to participate, okay, in this economic community. Okay, so these nations, all right, are all in bed, all right, with America, man. Okay, to participate in that economic community, man. And to participate in that community, you have to take a sip of that wine, man. Okay. And said verse 3 says, So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast, full of name of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Okay. So going back to this woman being America, okay, and he said that full of names of blasphemy. All right, because America is the source, all right, of anti-Messiah in the earth. America, because in America, anything goes. There's no morals, there's no values. Everyone's proud, wickedness, the wickedness that's normalized here is not normalized anywhere else, man. Okay, a lot of these nations are affected, they're drunk off the wine of Babylon, but this, is the source, as the scriptures say, the mother of harlots, which we'll get that, is going to go into it. Okay, it says having 7 heads, and this represents, the major, all right, empires that Esau has had, throughout, all right, his reign, his time in power, because he came in power as the Greeks. Okay, it represented 1 head. Okay, then it went to the Romans. All right, and then you had Germania Major, Germania Minor. All right, France. Okay, Spain. All right, and Britain. Okay, those are those 7 heads. Those are those 7, empires that Esau has had. While he's been allowed, to reign. He fell as a Roman. But he emerged during the Renaissance, and this is where you had those European empires, the French, the Spanish, okay, and the Britain, which those 3 horns I mentioned in Daniel the 7th chapter, okay, but it says having 7 heads and 10 horns, all right, and those 10 horns represent these EU nations, a lot of those nations that we just read, that we just listed off. I think it was 6 we just read about. about the treaty in Rome, Belgium, Germany, France, Italy, Luxembourg, okay, and the Netherlands. All right, and then you have that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, you have Ireland. All right, the UK, okay, Spain. All right, Portugal, okay, and there's one more. I think there's one more. All right, but these are the ones that represent those 10 horns. Okay, you hear brothers speak about those 10 horn nations. All right, well, those are those nations. Okay, um, let's see. I thought I had a picture of it. Let's see. Yeah, I used to have a picture of it. I might. Let me see. I might don't. It's all good. But I know you can. Let's see. Let's see. Sometimes it'll pop up. Oh, here we go. That's the YouTube. Yeah, but I'll have it for next time. It looks Greece. Yep, Greece, Spain, Portugal, England, Ireland, West Germany. Yep. Come on, brother. All right. So let's keep going with Revelation 17. I used to have that picture of that beast and that whore on the laptop. Probably was on the old laptop. All right, so reading on Revelation 17:3 says, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit on a scarlet-colored beast full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Okay. Verse 4 says, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abomination and filthiness of her fornication. Okay, and that purple scarlet color, okay, decked with gold and precious stones. There's royalty, man, and pearls. All right, because America has enjoyed royal privilege in the earth, man. Okay, America has enjoyed royal privilege in the earth. Okay, being able to influence, all the nations of the earth, being able to intervene, in their politics, in their economy, okay, in their media, okay. They just been able to pretty much throw their weight around the earth, man, as a royal, and that golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication, man, because that's what has these nations drunk, right, is these abominations that America has shoved down their throats, man. Okay? The filthiness of her fornication, which goes into idolatry, and that's another reason that this place is getting ready to get judged, because as we go into, the analytics of this war, well, the source the reason why this place is going to get judged is because of its wickedness, man. Okay? It's rebellion against righteousness, man. Okay? And America has been, just a platform of idolatry in the earth. Okay? You go into the Greek word.
Strong's G 4202. Parnaya.
Parnaya. All right? Metaphorically, it says the worship of idols. Okay? The worship of idols. Okay? And this is what America has been the platform, all right, and pretty much the poster child of the elites okay, throughout the earth, man. Verse 5, it says, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great. Okay, the mother of harlots and abominations in the earth, man. Let's go here. Okay, get this word mother. All right, and this is why everything that we're going into dealing with this war is leading to the complete annihilation of this place, man. Okay, it says metaphorically, you go into the Greek word, I think it's matar. Okay, matar, which is the source of something, the motherland. Okay, the source of something, the motherland. You see, so America, or just Babylon the Great, because this Babylon on a whole nother scale, and it was a mystery. Okay, but the mysteries, well, he revealed his mysteries, okay, unto the prophets, man, his secrets unto the prophets. Okay, verse 15, it says, and he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, okay, now it's going into the breakdown. It says, and he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, all right, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues, man. Okay, in America, all right, sitteth, okay, pretty much influence, okay, a lot of different peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues, man. Okay, the American influence stretches far. All right, what you call what they call it it's a culture they call it. Is it pop culture? Not pop culture. All right, I think it's popular. I have to look it up. Okay, but you have over 2 billion people on the earth that speak English. Okay, America had the biggest market. That's why America, okay, is it's the biggest, import, okay, of foreign goods, but it's the biggest export of its culture. The American culture is exported throughout the earth. Okay, it says, for the Most High have put it in their hearts to fulfill His will, okay, and to give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. So this treaty of Rome, okay, this NATO alliance, all right, these different kingdoms, all right, given, authority of, their kingdom, these different European nations, all right, these other nations that would eventually join, into the NATO alliance, okay, they're pretty much given, authority of their kingdom, all right, to this beast system, okay, and that's why all these nations, all right, are on board to go digital, because this is the way that the beast is going, is digital. Okay, it says, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. So we're at that time. All right. Now when because I like to read 17, then jump up to 16. It says, in the 10 horns, because this is going to happen. All right, 16 is going to happen after verse 17. And that's why you read prophecy, it'll jump. And a lot of people try to read it straight through and get confused. Okay, that's why you got Nate talking about Revelation. Well, he tripping. All right, he intentionally doing that. But you got people that sincerely read Revelation 20, and they think that Satan is going to be loosed in the kingdom after 1,000 years. They don't understand that their prophecy jumps. Okay, it says in the 10th verse 16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Because eventually, even these EU nations are going to turn, all right, on America, man, because they gonna be catching the blues from Russia, man. These nations ain't ready for their pressure Russia finna bring, man. That's why you see these EU nations scrambling, man. And eventually they gonna say, the hell with it, man. We gonna destroy this horde, man, because they in this situation because of what America is doing. See, it's America, all right, that was trying to utilize Ukraine, as a staging, all right, as a staging state, for weapons. That was America that was pushing that, man. And they got all these EU nations involved, man. Okay. So now that Russia is moving forward, Now it's like they scrambling. Okay, we're seeing these nations scramble because pretty much they sent they sent all their see what those nations did. They sent all their they sent a lot of resources. They sent a lot of military equipment. They sent a lot of money. Okay, because they were pretty much betting it all on Ukraine to pretty much knock a dent in Russia militarily and cause upheaval in the Russian government. That was their intent. They knew Ukraine couldn't win, but they thought that Ukraine could, you know, cause enough ruckus, all right, to frustrate, the Putin regime and frustrate the civilians, okay, to weaken Russia from within, okay. But it backfired, man, and it's having the opposite effect, okay, to where America and these EU nations are being weakened, all right, from within. Okay, and Ukraine, they just was a human shield, and it's just a slaughterhouse over there, man. Okay, so let's go into it because see the West, lies so much, and we covered it, all right. But let's go into the actual situation, and then we're going to see why the EU is reacting like they're reacting, man. All right, I like to go to my guy, all right, Scott Ritter. Like I said, he's a pretty reliable source. I stopped listening to Western media completely when it comes to the war. Okay, you might can listen to the West, media, Pitbull attack Eve, something like that. All right, they reliable then. Okay, but when it comes to war and what's happening, I completely stopped listening. All right, to Western media, mainstream Western media. you know. So I just deal with mainly sources. Scott Ritter, he's actually over there. He goes over there. He has sources in Russia. Okay. Colonel McGregor. All right. Different men that aren't biased. Okay. Um, and then like I said, I talked to this military guy yesterday, and he's telling me that, they've been sending a lot of tanks to Ukraine. And a lot of those tanks from Ukraine are coming from Mississippi. He told me that yesterday. I didn't know that, but he said, yeah, we send a lot of tanks over there, man, and they're all destroyed. He said, we just keep sending more. This is military personnel, full-time military personnel. Like he telling me, like, yeah, we send a lot of tanks to Ukraine. Russia destroyed all of them. We just gonna send some more. I was like, well, damn, what type of strategy is this, man? you know. But that's what he told me. And then this young Jake that's in the military, he told me today. I asked him, I said, so what they telling y'all? I asked him, I said, so what they telling y'all about Russia, all right, and Ukraine? He like, man, he said he told me, he said they already sent some Marines over there, and he was like, they got us on standby for the next 6 months, to be deployed to Europe. He's an army man because he said the Marines are good at taking, all right, territory, but they're not good at holding it. He said that's where the army come in and hold the land that the Marines take. Okay, so I'm just thinking, I'm like, it ain't gonna go like you think, my boy. But yeah, man. So you have military troops on standby for the next 6 months. All right, it's gonna be an interesting few months, man. It's a lot happening in these few months, so hey, it can get interesting. And like we watch these things as a buildup. Like when we first, I know when I first started reporting these things, man, over the years, you just think it's gonna go nuclear, by the weekend, but it's a buildup. You got to build up to that point. So we're just following the buildup. All right, we're following the escalation ladder. Okay, as this thing play out. Okay, so I'm gonna let this play. Let a few minutes of it play, and he's gonna go into it. And I got a few more videos, and we're just gonna expound on these things. And the Waller brothers for putting the info up too, man. About this beast system. All right, and prophecy just explains everything perfectly, man. You know, everything perfectly. Yep. Yeah, we'll get that one too after this video. The water brother, you know, this brother here be going in too, man. You know, he do a lot of updates. All right, Tazamat Yasha Allah, you know, Shalom, brother. You know, um, yeah, let's let this play.
They accomplished what they needed to accomplish. Within a week, Ukraine was at the negotiating table, and in less than a month, or a little more than a month, Ukraine was signing a peace deal. I mean, this was, from a military standpoint, the Russian operation was brilliant because it compelled Ukraine to go to the negotiating table. Unfortunately for Ukraine, Russia, and the world, the Ukrainians walked away from that peace agreement. Since that time, Russia has been engaged in a war of attrition against the Ukrainians that is designed to achieve two primary goals. One is demilitarization, and this is important. People need to understand that. Stop looking at a map and saying, aha, the Russians haven't moved very much. The map hasn't changed. Ukraine is winning. That's not what it's about, ladies and gentlemen. At least that's not what it's been about for the last nearly year and a half. It's about killing Ukrainians. It's about destroying Ukrainian equipment. And on this, Russia has been tremendously successful. This war of attrition has been designed to grind not just Ukraine down, but NATO down, the collective West, which has poured hundreds of billions of dollars of military assistance into this conflict. And on this front, Russia has achieved its objective. They have worn the Ukrainians down to where they have no more manpower reserves. Ukraine right now is talking about an emergency mobilization of personnel. And you know, anybody who's been involved in military recruiting knows this. You have to keep recruiting. You have to keep training no matter what, because as troops rotate out, as people retire, as people say, hey, I've done my 3 years, I've done my 5 years, I'm leaving, you have to have people behind them in a pipeline who are already fully trained to plug in to maintain combat effectiveness. What happened with Ukraine is, first of all, their army has been destroyed at least 3 times and rebuilt 3 times. Each time you rebuild that army, you lose the experience. The first army that fought against the Russians in 2022 had 7 years of building experience at the hands of NATO training. NATO trainers were training them in Western Ukraine. This army was expanding, and it was a very well-equipped, well-led, experienced army. That army was destroyed. NATO rebuilt it. The troops that came in to replace weren't as effective as the original troops because instead of 7 years experience, they had a few months of experience. They were killed. They were destroyed. The next army that was built to replace them had even less experience, weeks of experience, not months. They have all been killed. What's left now is nothing. There's no troops coming in. They're hijacking people off the streets. They're throwing them in the front lines with 6 days of training. These people surrender, they die, they get wounded, but they're not combat effective, and they don't have enough of those people. Russia is killing Ukrainians in excess of 800, 1,000, sometimes 1,500 a day. The Ukrainians aren't recruiting at that level. Russia, on the other hand, is recruiting 30 to 40,000 men a month, volunteers, who are saying, we want to serve in the special military operation. The Russian military is growing. This is simple military math. This war of attrition has worn the Ukrainians.
Oh, God damn. So that first batch of soldiers that Ukraine had 7 years of NATO training. They got wiped off the map. Okay, they got deleted. The next batch, all right, had weeks of training. Okay, they got deleted. Now, all right, 6 days of training to go to war with Russia. Okay, that's some that's some temp staff shit, man. 6 days of training, finish. And this is why we see these EU nations scrambling. All right, as we're gonna get this next video, all right, with redacted. Okay, this is why they're scrambling, man. Okay, because their investment in Ukraine failed horribly. Their gamble on Ukraine failed horribly, man. Okay. They just got random bodies over there, man. And you talking about combat effectiveness. This is why it's gonna be so easy. Cause what you have coming up now, the reason why Russia hasn't advanced deep into Ukraine, they just been fighting them from a distance, destroying, military hardware, okay, deleting troops, okay, from a distance. The reason why they haven't advanced because they're waiting on their ground to dry. Ukraine has a certain terrain, that those tanks and military vehicles and their hardware can't come across until the ground dry. And it's suspected to dry in June. Okay? Then you have America supposed to be shipping F-16s in June. So next month, it'll just be something to watch for. We'll see. If they ground dry as they expect, June, July. Okay, we'll see. But we know according to prophecy, Russia is being brought forth, by the will of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. Okay, so it'll play the rest of this, a few more minutes of this. 6 days. All right, damn.
Down to next to nothing. They have no more equipment. They have no more manpower. So what Russia has done is, after stressing the Ukrainians to the limit, now they pop in at Kharkov with 50,000 men, and the Ukrainians don't have anybody to defend there. So they're stripping everything they can away from the primary line of contact up to Kharkov. Meanwhile, the Russians continue to advance on the primary line of contact in Zaporizhia and Donetsk, and they're making gains. The forces in Kharkov are being destroyed. And trust me, sometime in the near future, the Russians are going to appear somewhere else, and there's nobody left to get them. The Ukrainians are going to have to strip away more, and they get thinner and thinner and thinner. And then you have total collapse. I was told by a Russian general back in January that you're going to see dramatic changes in the map of the battlefield in the month of May. We're midway through May, and I think we see that that's happening. And he said that he anticipates that the Ukrainians won't be able to continue to resist past midsummer, the end of summer, that this war will be over this year. And I think that's what we're seeing.
So that's, what's happening. Okay. And this is why we see this reaction. The brother played on his live screen yesterday. All right, but let's get this real quick. This is the book of Isaiah 13:17. It's a brother Tazamat Yashala 2. He said, Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Okay? So we're seeing the Medes stirred up. And the Lord got a spirit on them Russians, man. Them Russians built different. Putin, them guys built different, man. Okay? It's a lot of Jakes over there as well. Elder Pastor Hartman going in on that, dealing with the Scythians, who pretty much established, Russia. Okay? But what we're seeing is the Lord just has a spirit, a conquering spirit on Russia, man, because Russia has a mission. Okay, if a brother can get that in Jeremiah 50 and 9, all right, Jeremiah 50 and 9. Okay, so Russia has a mission to carry out, and brother can get that also in Isaiah 46 verses 9 and 10. All right, I'm gonna cue this up. And Russia don't want to negotiate. It was a time where Russia was trying to negotiate with the West, but that time over with, man. All right, they don't want to be a part of your punk ass economic community. Okay, they don't want to be a part of NATO and nah, man. Okay, they're beyond that. They don't care if you lift the sanctions or put more sanctions on them. They just doing what they got to do, man, according to prophecy, man. Okay, so let's go here. All right. Thought I had it. There you go.
And it's Germans get your teenage.
So yeah, I wanted to go through all that because to build up, to where we at now, and like I said, this the video that Illuminati Zagba, all right, was going into yesterday. All right. So I just wanted to go into the build up, all right, to how we got to that point. Okay. So this is hold on.
Germans.
All right. This is on Jeremiah 50:9. Said, "For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon." All right. The GMS Spiritual Arc 144K. Jeremiah 50:9. It said, "For lo, I will cause, all right, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon." So the Lord has raised up, all right, a warrior spirit over there in their region, man. In Russia and other nations as well. All right. But Russia being their chief nation, their chief prince. All right. Ra'ash Shar in the Hebrew. Okay. Chief prince. It says Babylon, an assembly of great nations from the north country, okay, which is Russia. And they shall set themselves in array, which is in battle formation against her. From thence, all right, shall she be taken. Their arrow shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. And that's going to be the nukes, man. Okay, because that's why all roads lead to a nuclear conflict, all right, between Russia and Babylon, all right, in which, all right, all these nations eventually are going to turn on Babylon, all right, and take this place off the map. Okay, Isaiah 46:9. All right, this is Brother GMS Spiritual Art 144K again. It says, "Remember, the former things are old, for I am, and there is none else. I am, and there is none like me." Okay, and then how does the Heavenly Father separate himself, from all these false ideologies, these false religions of the earth? By prophecy, accurate prophecy, man. Okay, Isaiah 46:10, declaring the end from the beginning and from the ancient time, the things that are not yet done, saying, "My counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure." So we're seeing the Lord's counsel standing. Okay, this war has happened exactly like the Lord said it would happen. Okay, I will put hooks in thy jaws and bring thee forth. My brother can get that. All right, and then we'll get into the video. So we're seeing Ezekiel 38 play out real time. All right, we're seeing these nations being stirred up, Russia being stirred up, Iran stirred up, man. The kings of the east is prepped for war against the beast. All right, and these small hats, man. Okay, you're seeing these things happen in real time. Okay, and it's the Lord doing His pleasure in the earth, man. Okay. Let's see, did it. I guess he ain't let you. I don't think it let you put verse 4. Look like verse 4 cut off. The beginning of verse 4. And see if you can post verse 4 again, Bible Shop, bro. Let's see. Yeah, like it cut it off. And I'll start here. This is the brother GMS Spiritual Arc 144K. And it says, "And say, thus said the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal." Okay. So the Lord, He's against Russia as well. Okay. And like I said, like Eliashua one would say, we're not pro-Russian, we're pro-prophecy. And we just understand the role, okay, that Russia has, okay, in prophecy, man. Okay, we understand that the Lord will utilize, all right, Russia as a tool and bring it down, all right, this Western, all right, this beast power structure, man. Okay, yeah, Esau might be tripping with the let me see, with the verse 4. Yeah, and this is why he wants to remove the prophets, man, because this is part of the testimony of Yahushua, because these things all lead to Yahushua, you know. And this is a testimony against this devil and all his schemes and plans and his whole power structure, man. Okay? The Bible is against this, man. All right. You have Jake, speaking about the so-called white man wrote the book. Nah, man. This book is against this devil. Okay. Oh man, talking about they think it's spam. I'll get it real quick. He's talking about it. I see why I just tried to post it too, and it said YouTube rejected it because they think it's spam. Okay, I'll just get it real quick. Ain't the water though, brothers. This Ezekiel 38:4 says, "And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws." Okay, so pretty much the Lord is like He's going to control. All right, Magog, which is Russia, put hooks in their jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Okay? So this is what we're seeing in real time. All right. And the Lord has hooks in the jaws of Russia, beginning with his leadership and bringing them forth. Okay. Ukraine is just the beginning. And these EU nations, they can feel it like this nigga, once he wiped Ukraine down, all right, he going to keep going. Okay. And the EU is scrambling and they're ill prepared, all right, to deal with this, man. And the Lord has them ill prepared because these EU nations, they pretty much been chilling. They pretty much just been relying on America and NATO, okay, to just enforce, all right, the Western hegemony, okay, the Western, all right, dominance. They just been relying on America mainly and NATO, okay, and these EU nations, they let their own personal militaries of these certain countries get weak as water, man, because they just depended on, all right, the dominance of Babylon, okay, and NATO. You see, but now Russia, all right, is about to be in the front yard. Okay, they're scrambling. All right, and this is what they're going to go into. Okay, so I'm gonna let this play. Yeah, it's all good, bro. So Esau is tripping. But it's still gonna happen. All right, damn devil. Okay, it's still gonna happen. It's happening,
Get your teenagers ready for war that they don't want. That means all teenagers, not just the boys, because Germany doesn't believe in gender. That means German teenage girls, biological girls, being drafted into a war with Russia that most Europeans don't support. European politicians support this war. The people of Europe don't. Last year, Germany said they wanted to add about 203,000 troops to their current military by 2031. Now they're saying there is no way to do this without conscription, which is so interesting. Like, oh, we sold you a war. We told you Putin's the bad guy. Why aren't they just lining up in droves?
Yeah, don't you want to go to war with Russia? Remember how that went for Germany the last time? Do you want
Good point.
Do you want to bring back an entire? We'll go back to Stalingrad again. Like, well, can you rechange the name back to that? Let's go see how that works out for you. The famine, the disease, the death, and destruction.
It's a spring offensive. It's a spring offensive
okay.
this
So it's
time.
not.
They're
Yeah.
not going into winter. They're not going into winter. That was what we're all.
Oh, we've learned the party is in better weather. So
And Russia, and Russia's now much weaker as an army.
yes, this is all sarcasm in case you're not picking up what Clayton's putting down. Okay, so they're saying they need to make plans for a Warpflicht. How do you say that word? Warpflicht.
What word are you pointing to?
This word, Werpflicht. No,
Werpflicht.
that one.
Wehrpflicht.
Wehrpflicht.
Wehrpflicht. Yes.
That means mandatory draft or military service. I'm smiling because my German's funny. This is not funny. So the German ministry now has laid out 3 options to reform the Wehrpflicht rules, the rules of conscription. This was in a leaked document from Minister Boris Pistorius, and he's expected to choose one of 3 options and officially present it in June. Now, remember that timeline, June, according to Die Welt newspaper. Sorry. One option would be either required military registration for all young people at age 18. Another would require mandatory military registration for males, again, only after 18. And the third option would be making mandatory registration and potential draft compulsory for both men and women at age 18. And they're calling this gender neutral conscription, which stands to reason, right? Because Germany now allows parents to change their child's gender at birth. So if you abolish biological sex, you can't draft based on sex, right? I mean, if it were me and I were giving birth to a boy in Germany, knowing now that the German government wants to take this precious baby and throw him into a war machine against Russia, I'd be like, nope, this is a girl, right? But now you can't do that. They're going to take it no matter what. So I don't know what you're going to do.
And this is also, all right, that dumbass society of the West working against them. Okay, you women, all right, jumped up and down for equality. Okay, the ERA, Equal Rights Amendment. Okay, and this is where all the Westernization philosophy that, people enjoyed and, people thought was just the greatest, doctrine ever, Westernization, and it's all love. See, now it's working against them. Now it's going to work against them. Okay? Now Westernization is working against them because the men that you produce, because they speak about no one's, lining up to go to war, because Western culture doesn't produce men. Okay? It produces metrosexuals, all right? Homer Simpson, Peter Griffins, okay? Little degenerate niggas. Okay, it doesn't produce warriors. All right, it's a rare thing, in Western culture, man. Trans. You see? So now all these things are going to work against the West, man. All right. As it says, talk about how they scribbling against the Lord. I believe that's what's it, Jeremiah 50 and 29. I want to say. Yeah, Jeremiah 50 and 29. I'm going to get what the brother got just to make sure real quick. This Jeremiah 50 and... Yep, 29. Yeah, Jeremiah chapter 50, verses 29, 30, and 31. Bob Gashah. I'm going to get this. It's the brother GMS Spiritual R144K. 2 Ezra 16:33 said, the virgins shall mourn having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn having no helpers, man. Because they just going to send, all right, these Western men aren't built. Those men in Iran, all right, those men in Russia, even China, North Korea, this is a whole different breed of men. Okay? These men in the West live soft lives. Okay? They live their soft life, man. They're not bred for this, man. Okay? They're not bred for what's to come. Okay? This is what we're seeing. So these men that get shipped off into this war, they're not going to last a second, man. Ukraine giving you 6 days of training, man. It's going to get to the point they're just going to get a gun, put a gun in your hand and a parachute on your back and kick you out the plane, man. All right? Yeah, it's going to land in Poland somewhere. okay, with them Russian tanks, all right, coming your way. You see, this is gonna be a scenario, man. And guess what? A lot of you women, you tough ass women, all right. And I just hope a lot of them, you loud ass nigga women, I would help, all right, gather you goddamn nigga women up, man. That's what I would volunteer for. Help grab you goddamn nigga women up, loud, all right, masculine, that hard ass clapping, okay. Put you, give you your Uzi, all right, and yeah, matter of fact, keep the bonnet on. We're gonna give you a Uzi and a parachute, and all right, and boot your ass out, all right, that you land in Poland somewhere, man. All right, verse 34 says, 2 Ezra 16:34 says, in the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. That's another thing. Like when war is full blown, all right, that's because you go into World War I, World War II, a lot of people, died of famine. A lot of people died because of the famine. Okay, because goods, all right, don't move when there's actual war. When there's real war, goods don't move like that. Okay, this the brother GMS Spiritual Art 1529 says, call together the archers against Babylon. All right, all ye that bend the bow. It's everyone that has nuclear capability. Because this is what it leads to. They're going to speak on it and later on, these other two guys. It says, camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape. Recompense her according, all right, to her work, man. And America has just been a bully and an asshole to these nations throughout the earth, man. Okay, but all this going to come back. I believe Job 4:7. All right, either 4:7 and 4:8. Ye that reap iniquity shall reap. Ye that sow iniquity shall reap the same. Okay, America just has impoverished nation, destroyed, infrastructure. Well, guess what? The Lord is going to allow these nations to turn America into a desert. Okay, it says, according to all that she have done, do unto her, for she have been proud against the Lord Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, against the Holy One of Israel. Okay, and America has been proud in their wickedness, man, to where they have parades, okay, about their wickedness, man. Okay, it says, behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, said the Lord power of hosts, for the day is come, the time that I will visit thee, man. Okay, and in the war, all right, America's going to be visited by nukes and Yahushua. Okay, and Yahushua is going to be like the Lord himself visiting this place, man. Okay, let's let this play some more.
Like other Western nations, Germany has very low military enrollment, meaning they have not succeeded at selling us this war and why your body should die for it, while their leaders just show a high appetite for war. Like in France this weekend, President Emmanuel Macron said that France is not at war, but he left the matter very open-ended with this if statement at the bottom. It's loosely translated by Twitter, so don't blame me for if you go too far and threaten the interests of France and the security of Europe, then we exclude nothing. This dude cannot make up his melon. He keeps saying things indicating that France will go to war in Ukraine and then walking them back when his citizens absolutely freak out. And now they're calling for a draft in the UK for young people as well. An army chief says that everyone in the UK needs to think like troops. Okay, what does that mean? You need to think like a soldier because they want you to think you are at war. Look at this graphic. These are the countries that NATO wants to start pulling troops from to reach 90,000 in order to, as the Sun says, prepare for World War III drills or do drills for World War III. Okay, so all those countries there, they want your warm bodies. They want your teenagers. They want your sons and daughters. Lithuania has been waving their hand.
All right, and it's all these 10 horn nations, man. The majority of these are 10 horn nations. Okay, now Turkey is going to side with Russia, going to Gomar. So you count Turkey out. Okay, and all these European nations are goddamn scrubs compared to Russian military might. All right, they some goddamn scrubs, man. And then I think she said Lithuania was raising their hand like they ready to go. Come on, man, Lithuania. I think that's what she said, man. Let me. I might have heard it wrong.
So all those countries there, they want your warm bodies. They want your teenagers. They want your sons and daughters. Lithuania has been waving their hands for a few weeks now, saying, we're ready. We got people. We'll go. This is happening because
Lithuania, you. Oh boy, Lithuania, you must be out your goddamn mind, man. Okay, you can't even see Lithuania. Okay, Lithuania. Hold on. I'll show y'all Lithuania. Okay. Now Lithuania. Now Ukraine. All right, had a before the war they had a population of 38 million people. Now it's estimated they have 18. From the ones that been killed in combat. The majority of them, have been made refugees. Okay, they've left. Okay, and the rest are injured. Okay, so they at the beginning of the war 2 years ago, all right, you had 38 million. Now they have 18. Now the population of Lithuania is 2.8 million. Okay, let's go. Let's show y'all Lithuania on the map. All right, Lithuania. Oh boy. 2.8 million. All right, Lithuania on the map. Let's see. You can find us a good map. Let's see if we can find one. Where let me see. Eastern Europe map. And then Lithuania say they ready to go. And if you can get the West to trick you to go against Russia, all right, you a goddamn crash dummy, man. Okay? And you deserve whatever your fate is. Okay? Lithuania. All right. So let's see. I think this is a good one here. Let me see if I can I want to compare it. All right, to Russia. Let's see. Yeah, Lithuania. All right, so let me blow this one. I just want to show y'all. When I first heard this one, she said Lithuania. I said, you got to be kidding me, man. Well, yeah, Lithuania said, there you go. So let's I'll just show you how desperate Europe is, man. Let me see. Is this showing? So let me know if y'all can see. I might try to blow it up some more. All right, but as you can see, all right, you got Russia, you got Ukraine, then you got Lithuania, right here above Poland and Belarus. Okay, and they're right there. Okay, and then Belarus, which is a pro-Russian, territory. All right, so Lithuania, come on, man. But like I said, this shows you the desperation of EU. Okay, the fact that Lithuania, has to volunteer for this event. Okay, Yeah, it's a joke. All right. But yeah, I just want to show y'all. Then the population like 2.8 million. Okay, so it's more people, live in LA, than Lithuania. All right, so yeah, let's let them run some more. Mm-mm.
Ukraine has allowed its army to die off. So if you think you're not following them in these footsteps, you are mistaken, and now they've had to implement draconian draft rules, and Ukrainians are trying to flee in order to avoid further conscription, some dying while they are fleeing. Just last week, these 6 people died trying to swim away. They're so desperate to get away from Ukraine. So young people of Europe, is this your future? Dying or escaping a country that
So you look at that, niggas all in the mountains. All right, it said dozens have lost their lives in the treacherous mountain river waters while attempting to evade the draft. But then you watch the news tonight, and they'll tell you Ukrainians are almost, Ukrainians are taking territory back. Okay, Ukrainians have just struck inside of Russia. You watch the news tonight, but then you go here, like dozens have lost their lives in treacherous mountain rivers water while attempting to invade the draft. 6 bodies were discovered in the Tyaza River on Ukraine's western border on Monday, according to a local journalist. Dozens of people have reportedly died in the river while attempting to flee Ukraine since Kyiv ramped up its conscription efforts. The Ukrainian border guard officially confirmed one death on Monday, identified as an unknown middle-aged man whose body showed signs of prolonged time in the water. Okay? Nigga taking big chances not to deal with them folks over there. Russia applying big pressure over there. A nigga take a chance in the mountains, in the rivers, you know? God damn.
away from Ukraine. So young people of Europe, is this your future? Dying or escaping a country that wants to throw you into a war that you do not buy? Well, British MP Andrew Bridgen says, actually, we're already at war with Russia, and they're just not telling you that. And he has a timeline for when we are going to be given this, and it lines up with this German draft deadline that we just learned about. Remember, I said they'd tell us in June. So listen to what he has to say.
Rishi wants out. We are actually at war with Russia now.
We've got.
They not just haven't told you. Haven't told you.
So say that again.
We're actually at war with Russia now. I met with Andrei Kelin, the Russian ambassador in London, a couple of months ago, and he said that we know that your people are firing those Storm Shadow missiles at us out of Ukraine because you couldn't train the Ukrainians to do it. We know you're doing it, and I mean everybody knows that there are lots of US, UK, French. The French are in there.
I thought it was the Brits were down on the ground and special advisors.
Yeah.
Training sessions and teaching them and showing them.
Isn't that how?
But they were apparently. That's how we started with the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
Dude, what the frack are we doing poking the bear? That's really stupid.
They're determined to get us into a war with Russia, and thank God we've got someone in Putin who at least has got some brains.
Now you sound like a Putin lover.
Well, I'm not. I'm not convinced any of them are any good. But at the end of the day, if you look at the facts, since '91, we've moved NATO 1,000 miles nearer to Moscow. They haven't moved nearer to us.
No, they haven't.
Okay. Now, I want to apologize. Normally I catch the F words and try to bleep them, and I forgot. So I apologize for that. I just missed that one. That one's on me. Now, he later says that this war is not wanted by anyone who is you think of that's a leader. This is Agenda 3030 from the World Economic Forum. and that the 0.1% of the richest people in the world want this, and they don't care that your teenager will be drafted or the young person in your life will be drafted. They don't care at all. Watch.
It's not a race between the blue and the red team to see who crosses the finishing line. This is a baton handover. On all the big issues, net zero, COVID response, the WHO, the trans agenda.
Who's pushing it then? Who's pushing it? Who's pulling the levers?
It's Agenda 2030. It's the World Economic Forum.
It's the elite bankers. Okay, and what we have to understand, like when you hear about dealing with America, when you hear about the Fed is printing money, and people think that that's the American government print money. No, the Fed is owned. All right, the Fed is the central bank, which is owned by the elites. The American government don't own, the Fed. The Fed owns America. When you talk about who America's in debt to, because you would think that they print money and borrow from themselves. No, the elites allow money to be printed, and they're borrowing from the elites, and what they're doing, the elites are putting all these nations in debt with this war. This is how the elites put nations in war. When you study World War I, World War II, the elites fund both sides, which I got a documentary. Might do all wars are banker wars, we might go through that documentary. This might be something we watch together, if y'all interested in it, just something I do to put it out there. Aparataza, so we can understand these things in the background. Because this here is more of the the military, strategic and analysis, as far as the actual fight. But the economical part, the elites are in the background funding both sides. So at the end of the day, no matter who wins, everyone is in debt to the elite bankers. And when you're in debt to the bankers, they own your government. But it's not going to go like they think. It's not going to go according to how they plan. Matter of fact, if a brother can get that in Proverbs 19, if a brother can post it in Proverbs 19 and 21. I think he had 1921 and really pretty much the elites are doing the bidding, of the elite. The elites are doing the bidding of the Most High. The Most High has this idea. He has implanted this idea in the minds of the elites to bring about his wrath. Because the nukes are going to be unleashed, and Yahweh Shai is going to be unleashed at the end of this thing. So the Lord has it on the mind of the elites to do this, and we prove it in prophecy on Revelation 16 and 13, Baba Shai. All right. So yeah, brother got it. All right, this the brother. Proverbs 19 and 21 said, "There are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord there shall stand." So these elites got their agendas, and he keeps saying Agenda 3030, which is Agenda 2030. They have certain things they want to get done by then. All right, so they got all these devices, but it's going to be the counsel of the Lord is going to stand. And we're watching the counsel of the Lord play out. And the elites, all right, they just play their part within the counsel of the Lord, man. This is what we're seeing. So you get Revelation 16 verses 13 and 14, Baba Kasha, and then expound on it some more. Okay. And even if you can keep posting that on you can get this from the brother. And you can keep posting, bro, on this Psalm 2nd chapter. You can keep posting that as well. We read that. Because it all leads to your house shot. Okay, everything leads to your house shot, ushering in the righteous kingdom. You know, well, I said you can keep going in on this song. This is the brother beyond Yashala, Lamentation 3 and 37. It said, "Who is he that saith, and it cometh to pass when the Lord commanded it not?" Okay, so there is nothing that's happening that the Lord isn't allowing and ordaining. Okay, so these elites, they play these little games in the background. All right, the Lord, okay, all right, is orchestrating this third world war. Well, in fact, the brother got it earlier. It came back around. I looked at it, but the spirit had passed, but the spirit brought it back. Okay, I'm gonna get this, and we'll go back to it. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 16, verse 13. It says, "And I saw three unclean spirits like frogs." All right. Revelation 16 and 13. "And I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet," man. All right. And you go into the dragon, which represent the Roman Empire, pagan Rome, which has been revived through what? This beast system, America, NATO, and EU. Okay. And within that, you have the false prophet, the Roman Catholic Church, because the main part of the devil coming back into power, and that deception, came through Roman Catholicism, man. Okay. Which pushed a lot of, falsehoods about the Bible. All these churches and denominations that we see of Christianity, come out of, Roman Catholicism, man. All right, what they call the mother church. You see, and those three unclean spirits like frogs represents those three city states. Okay, Washington D.C. being the military branch. All right, London being the financial branch. Okay, the bankers. Okay, and the Vatican. All right, being the religious branch. Okay, the false prophet. All right, and through those sectors, they control the least control the earth. They finance wars. Okay, America has been their bully. All right, and the biggest religion in the earth is what? Christianity. Which stems from the false prophet. All right, the Roman Catholicism, man. Because just as El Monatazak said before, the reason why everyone is so confused about the Bible is Christianity, man. Okay, and that's how the elites operate in confusion. Okay, if they can keep you confused, they can operate. While you scratching your head, they can operate and be steps ahead, man. Okay, this is Revelation 16 and 14. It says, "For they are the spirits of devils working miracles," all right, deceivers, all right, working miracles, okay, and his main miracle is these technology, man, okay, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world to gather them to the battle of that great day of God Almighty. Okay, so these elites are in the background playing both sides, man. They playing all sides, man. Okay, but the Lord, all right, has these devils doing this, man. Okay, so we talk about, what these devils, these elites will be doing in the background, but ultimately it's all fulfilling the agenda of Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay, because you go here, the brother brought this out earlier, came back around. GMS Spiritual R 144K, Zephaniah 3 and 8 said, "Therefore wait ye upon me, said the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon, all right, upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured in the fire of my jealousy," man. So ultimately, this is the Lord. The Lord is determining this, man. The Lord is determined to gather these nations, man, for war. All right, and to judge them, man. These nations are going to be judged in this war. Okay? The Lord is going to judge the earth in this war. You see? All right. So let's let this play some more. All right, and we'll close on this Psalms. And brother can go ahead and get Revelation 11, 14, and 15. You know, and we'll watch a little bit of this and we'll close out. You know, but while with y'all for sticking with me, I know this is gonna be a marathon. You know, but hey, you gotta come out.
0.1% of the richest people in the world. And
the globalists?
The globalists, yeah. The people who make... Listen, to make money, all we'd need is next week's newspapers today, wouldn't we? But if you own next week's newspapers, you know what's going to happen and what's going to be reported, regardless of what the facts are. And that's the position these...
So we're heading for war.
And also, yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Well, we're actually already in it. They're not going to tell the people probably till July or August, maybe a bit later. And I think Rishi wants out.
But hold on one second. I mean, if we go to war with Russia, we're talking about potentially nuclear war.
I know.
Do they understand what they're playing with?
Well,
here?
We have a nuclear...
We're not playing with fire.
I know. And it goes against all our defense thinking.
But even
we have nuclear weapons, so that no one would do that to us. So why would we do it to someone who's got 30 times more nuclear weapons than we've got?
And not just that, their air defense capability, the S-500, I mean, it's a million times better than what we've got. We've got nothing compared to that.
We've got nothing that can stop any of their...
What is it? We've got Arrow or something? I mean, that can't do jack shit with their hypersonic missiles.
I've seen a report that we just do not have any defense for the UK against the Russian arsenal.
Because you know they've got hypersonic missiles.
Yeah.
We've got nothing against that.
Nothing against that.
Okay, so that's cheerful.
All right, finish. Absolutely finish. Okay? The end of that conversation is the EU is finished. All right. So yeah, let's get this. The brother posted yeah, I don't know what Lithuania. I don't even know. They, we never heard of them. These whole, this whole time we've been talking about war. We never heard of Lithuania. Now they like, yeah, we ready. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know them niggas up, man. I love to see it though. Yeah, I love to see that footage, goddamn. Boy. So let's get this in Psalms 2:1. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 2, verse 1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Okay, because all these heathens are in cahoots. Okay, to ultimately try to establish a new order in the earth. Okay, and they believe that after, this war, there's going to be a new order of heathen rulership in the earth, and they know America, and within their order, America is not the superpower anymore. Okay, that's why there's so much, going against America, man. That's why America is being sabotaged and intentionally weakened, because they don't want, they're done with the whore riding the beast. Okay, but ultimately the Lord is done with all of them. All right. It said the kings of the earth, and this is speaking of the elites, the ones in the background financing and orchestrating, okay, manipulating everything that we see. It said the kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, because ultimately, Esau wants to establish a new order, where there's no remembrance of the Most High. There's no, remembrance of any type of righteous standard, man. Okay? Like this devil is on a whole nother kick. Okay? Like what this man is taking counsel, to do, he wants to completely, rid the earth of the influence of the Most High, man. All right, beyond tripping. Okay. Let's see. In verse 3 on there. I'm looking for verse 3, bro. If you got it. Psalms 2 and 3. Make sure I don't overlook it. Let's see, 5 and 6. Yeah, I need verses 3 and 4, Bob Basham, bro. Psalms 2, verses 3 and 4. Trying to make sure I ain't overlook it. Because those are the main points. 2, 3, 4, and 5 and 6. And that's the point. No, I don't see it. But yeah, bro, yeah. Somebody can post Psalms 2, verses 3 and 4. Like I said, we end with that Revelation 11, 14 and 15. All right. Oh yeah, they tripping with that one too. Okay, cause it's all good, bro. I'll go to it real quick. I don't know why I do this. Some precept. Yeah, sometimes you post it, they act like it's spam, with the water, brother. I'll just get it real quick. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 2, verse 3. It said, "Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us," man. All right, and when you go into this in the NLT, in the NLT, verse 3, okay, because Esau looks at righteousness like bondage. That's why he has most of people on the earth. They look at righteousness as bondage because he looks at it. He has portrayed it as bondage, and his way is better. Okay, so when you read in NLT, Psalms 2 and 3 say, "Let us break their chains," they cry, "and free ourselves from slavery to the Most High." You see, to Esau, righteousness is slavery, man. And that's why he's going to be tormented in the kingdom, because he's not going to be allowed to do any wickedness, man. If this man is not going to be allowed to do wickedness in the kingdom, okay, how the hell is he going to have the free time to make weapons and gather all the nations? Well, the IUIC doctrine, the Nathaniel doctrine, man, tripping. Okay, you see, he's trying to do that now. He got the nations gathered now, and this rebellion is finna be put down once and for all. Okay, verse 4: "He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh; the Lord shall have them in derision. Then shall he speak." All right, so this is a joke what these devils are doing. The Lord just watching, and Esau, the elites, they get off on manipulating and being in the know and being steps ahead. Well, guess what? The Lord is steps ahead of this devil, man, and he's playing right into what the Lord wants him to do, man. This devil don't win. Okay, I don't care how it look at the moment. This devil don't win. Okay, and verse 5 said, "Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath and vex them in his sore displeasure." Okay, so the Lord gonna stop playing with Esau. He gonna bring it to him. Okay, right now the Lord is just laughing at Esau scrambling, to set this thing up, set up this new order. All right, this satanic world order in the earth, man. Okay, but then there's gonna come a time where the Lord, he's gonna speak to him in his wrath, man, and he's gonna kick off this third world war. Okay, which is gonna rock the earth. America gonna be a desert. EU nations gonna get touched up. Okay, he's gonna send back Yahushua, all right, to just wipe the board with all these heathen militaries in the wrath of his father. All right, verse 6: "Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion," and that's going to be the conclusion of everything we see. Okay, that's going to be the conclusion of it. All right, and we always say, we follow these things because it leads to a righteous kingdom under Yahushua, man, and which we pray that we're all right a part of, man. We pray that we're delivered. Okay, and to take part in establishing righteousness in the earth, man. Okay, for good. Revelation 11:14, the second woe was past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. All right, and this is what we're seeing happen. The third woe, this third war, all right, is quickly coming. You know, and I was like, this is gonna be an interesting year. Okay, not saying that hey, it's gonna fully kick off this year, man, but we can see some escalations, man. Okay, we can see some escalations. Revelation 11:15, it says, and the seven angels sounded, and there was great voices in heaven saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his anointed, and he shall reign, all right, forever and ever. You know, so it all leads back to Yahweh Shai, all right, taking the throne of the earth in righteousness, man. Okay, this is where everything leads to. You see, so yeah, like I said, that was the point. Just wanted to touch on that. All right. Just watching some things a day, and seeing how things unfolding. So we're just gonna keep watching, was the day the 17th. So May, another day, we're gonna pay attention to see what happened. After May 20th, all right, Russia is not gonna recognize Zelensky, all right, as the president of Ukraine anymore. Okay, because according to on the Ukrainian, all right, election terms, his term would have been up, May 20th, but he didn't have election. He suspended the elections, so pretty much making himself de facto leader, all right, but Russia is not going to honor that after the 20th, so we'll see how that play out, man. I say it's interesting, it's getting interesting. So we're going to watch and we're going to see, man, and everything is working in our favor. Everything is working in our favor, man. So till next time, say Shalom, Kwame Mashallah, Ball soon. Give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kakwadash, and Ball, Shalom.